The OnePlus 13 aims higher than ever for OnePlus and it hits the mark. It's beautiful to hold, pleasing to use, and it performs better than any other smartphone you can buy right now. My old complaints have been pounded into silence by an amazingly durable design and the best support OnePlus has offered. The cameras take photos that capture the action with clarity. This is a phone that turns heads, but it's more than just a pretty face. It lasts all day and through the night, then gets back up for work after a power nap. Sound fun? Just buy it already. If the OnePlus 13 seems a bit expensive for a sleeper hit, that's because OnePlus is great at making phones but not so good at pricing them. You can ignore the list prices because OnePlus offers a perpetual discount on all of its best phones that usually keeps the price lower. In the US, for instance, there is a $100 discount on the upgraded 512 or 16GB model, as well as a guarantee of at least $100 no matter what phone you trade. That means the price is effectively $799 US. The OnePlus 13 is competing with the absolute top tier flagship phones, but you can buy it for the price of the base model. The OnePlus 13 cameras, display and battery life all compete handily against the iPhone 16 Pro Max and Galaxy S24 Ultra, but the phone can be purchased for the price of an iPhone 16 or Galaxy S24. The real problem for OnePlus is where and how you can purchase the OnePlus 13. You can buy it directly from OnePlus or you can buy it from the Best Buy, but only the blue or black models, and if you walk into a Best Buy you will find only the black. Amazon will have the OnePlus 13 in the near future, but it's not available on Amazon yet. OnePlus offers payment plans in the US through third-party firm, but doesn't seem to have similar plans in the UK, which means many people will have to pay upfront for the OnePlus 13. That's not how most of us buy phones, so if you are used to paying a monthly installment through your mobile carrier, there will be some sticker shock with the OnePlus 13. Hang in there too, because having an unlocked phone that you own is a huge benefit. You can shop around for any cell phone plan on any carrier, and when it comes time to sell your phone, you will be able to sell it without having a lien from a carrier agreement. The OnePlus 13 is available in 3 colors at launch: Midnight Ocean, Arctic Dawn, and Black Eclipse. My review sample was the blue color, which might be the best one, but the white is quite striking, with a bit of texture in the back that makes it stands out. Also, there is a black. Except for a couple of hardcore gaming phones, the OnePlus 13 is the first mainstream phone we have tested with the new Qualcomm Snapdragon 8 Elite processor inside. The chipset delivers on Qualcomm's promises. It's much faster than the previous generation and it beats Apple's latest A18 Pro powered iPhone 16 Pro in many benchmark tests. The wins don't stop there. OnePlus says the display is the best that DisplayMate has ever seen, and our tests show it beats competitors in color gamut, if not average brightness. The RAM and storage are significant and more than enough to drive all of the phone's AI features and more. The most impressive specs might be the 6000 mAh battery and the accompanying 80-watt charging. I have never seen a battery this big in a phone that wasn't made for hardcore gaming. With the huge battery and Snapdragon 8 Elite, the OnePlus 13 is our new battery life champ, and it charges back to full faster than any Samsung or Apple phone ever with the larger cell inside. I have long been a big fan of OnePlus phone designs, but I had a major complaint that kept me from recommending them more often. OnePlus phones weren't durable. They were not certified to be water and dust resistant, unlike every major Samsung phone since the Galaxy S7. That all changes with the OnePlus 13, and it changes in a big way. For such a gorgeous phone, the OnePlus 13 is shockingly durable. Most phone makers test phones to IP68 requirements, which means they can be submerged in 1 meter of water for 30 minutes and they won't allow any dust particles inside. OnePlus turns that dial to 11 with, it claims, the first IP69 certified phone. Technically, IP69 just means IP68 plus more, and OnePlus gave this phone a lot more. I saw OnePlus reps drop the OnePlus 13 into a clothes washing machine and run it with a full load. I saw the phone placed into a dishwasher where it sat for a full dish cycle, including the drying. This phone doesn't just take a dunk. It takes a dunk, a spray, and a punch to the face. It can't handle salt water, sadly, but that only leaves room for future improvement. But seriously, this might be the most durable phone you can buy that isn't made for the military or deep-sea drilling operations. OnePlus makes the best looking phones you can buy, and the OnePlus 13 continues the trend, while I miss the swirly green from the OnePlus 12, which seemed like a magical object I picked up on my journey through an elfin forest. The midnight ocean blue is so strikingly classy that it's undeniably a good evolution for OnePlus. For accessories, I highly recommend buying the Armid fiber magnetic case, which is not only incredibly functional, it also looks snazzy with the bright red ring around the camera bump. OnePlus is also offering the OnePlus Buds 3 Pro in a matching hue, a very nice touch. OnePlus 13 feels fantastic when you hold it, especially in the blue color with its soft, inviting microfiber vegan finish that makes me wonder why I'd ever consider a cold glass-backed phone like the iPhone or Galaxy. The circular camera bump seems purposeful and stylish, unlike the embarrassed portholes on the iPhone 16 Pro and the Galaxy S24 Ultra. Be proud of your cameras. Of course, you get the Hasselblad H stamp next to the ring. For the 3 people you meet who have heard of Hasselblad, they will be very impressed. OnePlus gives the mute switch on the side of the phone, and it's the most useful mute switch on any device thanks to intuitive haptic feedback that clearly tells you when the phone will make a ruckus or when it will keep quiet. I usually ignore phone cases in my review, but OnePlus has gone above and beyond with this year's offerings. My review sample came with the Aramid fiber case, which also has magnets built in that by design line up perfectly with every MagSafe charger and attachment. With the case on, I had no trouble charging my OnePlus 13 on my Anker 3-in-1 cube or attaching my magnetic wallet to the back, the one that came with my iPhone 16 Pro case. If you are considering switching from an iPhone to OnePlus, all of your MagSafe gear will work fine if you also have one of the new cases attached to your OnePlus 13. It's an incredibly smart system that, sorry Apple, every phone maker should adopt. Let's make magnet placement a standard across all phones. OnePlus told me that it kept magnets out of the phone itself to keep the price down, but its cases are gorgeous and third-party options are already making an appearance. OnePlus points to DisplayMate, which says the OnePlus 13 earned DisplayMate's highest ever display performance grade of A++. Who am I to argue? Our own testing in Future Labs showed a wider color gamut than the iPhone 16 Pro Max or Samsung Galaxy S24 Ultra, except when the Galaxy was boosting its color with vivid mode turned on. OnePlus loves to flaunt its maximum brightness numbers, but you will never see the phone reach at 4500 nits that OnePlus claims. In our tests, the display was not as bright as the iPhone or Galaxy using HDR mode. In my real world time with the phone, I had no trouble seeing the display ever in bright sunlight, and OnePlus handed me the phone after flying me to Miami, so it was plenty bright. The fingerprint reader under the display was a delight, the most responsive I think I have ever used. I don't remember a missed attempt in my entire 3-week review period, while my Galaxy phone fails to read my thumbprint on the daily. I even like the supple curve all around the edges of the display. It makes for a very appealing device to hold and swipe around. My fingers never caught on the edges, and it gives the phone a premium feel. At its best, the OnePlus Oxygen OS 15 interface is delightful. It's colorful enough to be engaging and unique without feeling cartoonish or distracting. The OnePlus Shelf is a brilliant way to handle widgets with great designs, and the system settings and notification menus are refined and restrained. Every other Android phone maker should be following OnePlus's lead because the OnePlus interface doesn't go too far like Samsung's One UI or oversimplify like Google's vanilla Pixel Android. Sometimes OnePlus gets a bit silly in its pursuit to take on Apple, but it's an earnest attempt to create the most thoughtful and appealing phone software you will use. There is a fake dynamic island on the OnePlus 13 that mimics the pill-shaped island on the latest Apple iPhone 16. Unlike the iPhone, the OnePlus Dynamic Island persists even when the phone is in landscape mode. The feature Apple created to hide the hole in its screen is now being copied to create a fake hole in the screen. I appreciated the attempt. The OnePlus sees utility in having a tiny little window with animations for app creativity, like your Uber Eats meal approaching or your Audible audiobook playing. All around the OnePlus 13 I found thoughtful touches and flourishes. It never went too far, and OnePlus even retrains its controversial Zen Space, an app that will literally lock you out of your own phone with no way to regain access for a period that you specify. Zen indeed. On the other hand, not everything is perfect. OnePlus claimed that its phones could tap to share with the iPhone, which would be a huge win for an Android phone. In fact, your iPhone friends need to download a special OnePlus software, then walk through a series of steps. It's not as seamless as OnePlus made it sound, and I'd never subject my iPhone friends to this process when I can just email a photo or file instead. If you're a huge fan of smartphone AI, what you get on the OnePlus 13 won't compete with Apple Intelligence or Google's Pixel phones. You get a lot of Google AI features including Google Gemini and Circle to Search, but Google isn't handling over all of the AI magic to its Android partners. For instance, my Pixel 9 Pro will screen calls using an AI assistant, but the OnePlus 13 can't do that. OnePlus also loads its phones with just a bit more first-party bloat than I'd like. There is a clone phone app and that Zen Space app, and those should just be setting options. The OnePlus Community app should be an optional download. There are sadly two Photos apps because one is actually Google Photos and the other is from OnePlus. And why is there a strange internet web browser from third-party developer Hate app? Chrome works fine. The OnePlus 13 has three 50-megapixel cameras, but forget about the megapixels because megapixels don't matter. What matters is the size of the sensor. The main sensor on the OnePlus 13 is the Sony LYT808, the same sensor used on the OnePlus 12. The iPhone 16 Pro and Samsung Galaxy S24 Ultra each use slightly larger main sensors, but the difference is minimal, around 0.06 inches diagonally. The OnePlus 13 has excellent cameras and it's one of the best camera phones you can buy. The OnePlus approach to mobile photography is going to be more and more important in the near future. Instead of packing the phone with massive sensors, OnePlus is aggressively enhancing images with computational photography techniques to mostly excellent effect. Here are some camera samples of OnePlus 13. What do you do with the fastest phone in the world? That's the question I am left pondering after my time with the OnePlus 13, which scored higher in important benchmarks than any other phone we have tested in Feature Labs. It beat the iPhone 16 Pro Max handily in multi-core processing performance and on most graphics tests. Against the Galaxy S24 Ultra, the OnePlus 13 was twice as fast on some tests. In the real world, yes, it's the fastest phone I have ever used. The interface is incredibly snappy, and OnePlus says it's doing work behind the scenes to make sure that everything apps open and Windows render faster on the OnePlus 13 than any other phone. Still, phones were already plenty fast, and I don't know a single human who can perceive the difference between the fastest overall and the third, fourth, or 10th fastest phone. The problem is that Android software especially hasn't caught up to the performance benefits. Sure, I can use Adobe Lightroom or Adobe Premiere to edit photos and videos, but the software doesn't work the same as it does on a desktop computer. Even worse, Apple has far more desktop-class applications developed for its mobile platforms, likely because it took the lead with Pro software like Logic Pro and Final Cut Pro. Where is my Final Cut for Android? What apps justify the need for so much power? I suspect that all of my Snapdragon 8 Elite processing power will be used eventually by upcoming AI features. For now, the AI story is confusing. It seems that the OnePlus 13 is offloading most of its AI work to various cloud servers. It isn't doing much machine learning computation on the phone itself, even though that's supposed to be the whole point of the Snapdragon 8 Elite. Frankly, the Snapdragon will benefit Samsung more than OnePlus because Samsung stuffs its phones full of software features like the DeX desktop environment, the Bixby Assistant, and more robust edge panels and pop-up bonuses. You'll find a useful, simpler edge panel on the OnePlus 13 by swiping in from the edge of the phone, but you won't find a desktop computer hidden inside. I appreciate that OnePlus doesn't overload its phones with features I'd hardly use. Here's the answer to the Snapdragon question. How does the OnePlus 13 benefit from using the Snapdragon 8 Elite? It's the battery life, which is the best I have ever experienced from a mobile phone. My OnePlus 13 lasted longer than a full day of use every day I used it, and I would often forget to charge it at night in my first week of testing because I simply wasn't worried that it would run out of juice. In our lab testing, the OnePlus 13 lasted 15 minutes shy of 20 hours. The iPhone 16 Pro Max lasted just over 17.5 hours, while the Galaxy S24 Ultra couldn't last 17 hours in our testing. That's the longest any phone has lasted, though it shouldn't be a huge surprise because the phone to beat was the OnePlus 12R, a big battery powerhouse with an efficient Snapdragon inside. In my real world use, honestly, I am not entirely sure because charging the OnePlus 13 is very fun. It charges so fast, it's incredible. OnePlus also gave me a new AirBook wireless charging pack with a cooling fan built in, and it attaches magnetically to the back of the OnePlus 13 when it's wearing a case. Even with the wireless charger, the OnePlus 13 charges faster than my iPhone or Galaxy, but connected to a special OnePlus Red cable, superhuman speeds. When I can charge my phone past 50% in the 15 minutes it takes me to shower, I barely worry about battery life, or I can drop my phone onto the wireless charger and get a full charge in an hour while I catch up on work. The OnePlus 13 lasts longer than any other phone, sure, but it almost doesn't need to last so long because even with the huge battery, it charges faster than all the rest. In 15 minutes, the OnePlus 13 charges to 52%. In the same time, my iPhone 16 Pro Max reached 29% and my Galaxy S24 Ultra hit 39%. After charging for 30 minutes, the OnePlus was 5 minutes from being totally topped up, while the other phones weren't even 3/4 charged. OnePlus even gives you a charger in the box, though it must, because no other charger will charge the OnePlus 13 that fast. You must use the special OnePlus charger In the near future, OnePlus will be releasing an even more special charger that can charge the phone to the full 100-watt speed instead of just 80 watt, though that big brick will cost a lot extra. Although it's more expensive than its predecessors and still lags behind in promised software support, the OnePlus 13 remains an amazing value for a flagship Android phone. While it's entirely possible that the Samsung Galaxy S25 series appears within just a few weeks and changes the game, the current closest competitors, specs-wise for the OnePlus 13, all cost more and equivalently priced models all lack in one or more areas compared to the new OnePlus. The large feature-packed display, awesome battery life, and clever new software features are things we have seen from OnePlus before, but it's the improved cameras that are OnePlus 13's crowning achievement. It's the closest the companies ever got to the masters of smartphone photography, Samsung, Google, and Apple, and while it's not a perfect match yet, you don't lose out on much by taking photos through the OnePlus 13's lenses instead of an iPhone, Galaxy, or Pixel. The OnePlus 13 deserves a high spot on our best Android phones pages and likewise on our guide to best phones overall. Don't skip over this phone while looking for your next handset, even as we progress through the year and more updated phones appear, because even if they match the OnePlus 13 on specs or beat its photography or performance, they certainly won't beat a dollar for dollar comparison.